morning, everybody. It is Saturday, January 25th. My name is Karen, and this is BobbleHeadKnits. So welcome to everybody, whether you're new here or you've been here before. I appreciate all of you coming. And this is my little corner of the internet, where I talk about knitting and life. All right, let's jump into it, shall we? I'm gonna have a little sip of coffee. Here I am. Okay, we're ready now. I made this latte myself with the new espresso maker we got this week. So just call me Barista Karen. I have a plan. I'm gonna open my little neighborhood coffee shop, pull shots all day. Also, I will be selling yarn and having a little sit down knit and natter every day. People can come over and knit and buy yarn and buy coffee, and we'll throw in some books too. We'll have a little section of books for sale. So okay, that's my plan. Just no one steal that from me, please. Okay, let's get going here. This is kind of odd. All right, I have a finished object. World, meet Chuck. Chuck, you can't totally see Chuck, but Chuck is completely done. Let me back up a little so you can see Chuck better. Woo, there's Chuck. Chuck is done. All right, Chuck is the someone to write gnome about gnome. The gnome knit along that happened in September that I meant to participate in and then didn't cast on. So I cast on in November. And I finished him yesterday. I had to sew in the parts yesterday. That's all I had. Amy at Happy Little Yarns named him, and she didn't realize when she gave me the name recommendation that it fit him perfectly. So I'm going to tell you the story about why Chuck is so perfect a name for my gnome. So my daughter is a huge Colorado Rockies fan. She actually works for the Colorado Rockies. They're the Major League Baseball team here in Colorado. And one of our favorite players was Charlie Blackmon, who happens to be from Georgia, where Amy is from. Hi, Amy, if you're watching. And Charlie Blackmon retired this past year. But as soon as she said Chuck, I said to my daughter, what do you think we should name him, Chuck? And we both looked at him and we looked at his beard. And we were like, yeah, that's a Chuck, all right. So Chuck, Charlie Blackmon, who also, by the way, goes by Chuck Nasty, he's known, well, one, he was a very good baseball player, but he's known for this massive, crazy beard he has. So if I feel like editing, I'm gonna put a picture up of Chuck and Chuck the gnome so you can see. All right, so thank you, Amy, for helping name him, and it was perfect. And actually, my daughter had to go to work today, even though it's 19 degrees out and snowing heavily, because it is Fan Fest, and Colorado Rockies have all the players there, and Chuck retired at the end of this past season, but Chuck is in town because he came back for Fan Fest, because people love him, and, you know, just part of what you do apparently is a Chuck Nasty. So I almost said, the thought crossed my mind. I almost said, because I said to her, say hi to Chuck when you see him. And then I almost said, take Chuck with you and give Chuck to Chuck Nasty. But then I was like, no way. So, all right. Chuck is going to live over there on the shelves, but he also is going to be Atticus, my grandson. For those of you that don't know, I have a 21-month-old grandson. When he comes over, he can play with Chuck. So, all right. So this was a Sarah Shira, I don't know, from Imagine Landscapes. It was one of her designs. And they do have a mini pattern also. So mine is the big one. And then they have a mini. These are fun. I will say that. Knitting a gnome is fun. And in the end, you get a gnome. And it's like, who doesn't need a gnome? I said last week I had no need to partake in the gnome knit along this year, where it's a gnome a month, because I have no need for 12 gnomes. I don't know. Maybe I do need 12 gnomes. Okay, I do have a little bit of yarn left over. I bought the kit from Mustache Yarn, and so it came with two 50-gram minis and a 20-gram, and is that right? I think so. I can't remember. And this is how much I have left. So that's a big chunk right there. I mean, I could almost knit a pair of shorty socks with that. So I have to weigh this again. I weighed it yesterday. I can't remember how much it is, but there might be some socks in there. And then this is like 5 grams, and let's say it's like 20 some grams. So it's a good little chunk of yarn I could do something with. All right, put this over here. Take another sip of my coffee. Our espresso maker came Thursday. I was off and I went to lunch. Hang on, let me do. I had Thursday off. I went to lunch, and I was at lunch with a girlfriend. I came back home, and my husband, originally we were gonna go to lunch together, and he was gonna come too. But then it was like, well, if you come to lunch, then what happens if the espresso maker comes and they leave it on our porch and someone like porch pirates it? So he did not leave, and when I came home from lunch, he was putting it together, and it's just lovely. We love it. This is actually only the second latte that I've made, and it's really good. So, yeah. Okay. Next up, whips. I'm only going to show you 2 whips. I'll tell you why. Oh, before I go on from Chuck here, I was going to show you. So I use my little Chagu mini needles. Here they are. They're the ones that come in the little red pouch. Perfect for this project. They were so nice. So really, the only time that I've pulled these out to use for an entire project, like I've used them maybe for a little like ribbing or something, but I'm not done a whole project with these, and I did with this, and ideal. I mean, like perfect length, perfect everything. So if you are ever in the market for some good small needles, I have all of them. I have there's a blue set and a yellow set and the red set, and then the full size set. So I have one of each, and they're not cheap, but they're really good needles. So the only thing I don't like about interchangeable needles is that even if you tighten them, like with the, they come with this little pin that you stick in the hole, and then you tighten it, and you use this little gripper thing to really tighten it. They don't always stay tight, so that annoys me. And yeah, but otherwise, besides that, I love these needles. So Chagu. Okay, enough of that. I'm not sponsored by them, but if they want to throw some money my way or some other needles, no. All right, I have enough needles. Hang on. As I mentioned, it is snowing. It is really coming down, and we've had a lot of snow since last weekend. So yeah, it's that time of year. It didn't get warm enough to actually melt any of the snow, because that's usually what happens here. It usually snows, and then a few days later or like the next day, it gets really warm and then it melts. And so that's why I live in Denver, in case you're wondering. But Denver is really nice that way, because rarely do we have like snow just sitting around in town. But this week we have. So January, February, that's if it's gonna stick around, those are the months for it. So, all right, let's move on. All right, my next knit or whip are my January socks. I really hope that these don't become February socks too, but I only have a few more days of January, and this is all I got so far. I'm knitting the DRK Everyday Socks. This yarn, the beautiful pink, this. Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? That is James Makes Yarn in the colorway Toasted Marshmallows. And this was a 2022 holiday colorway. So love this. It is knitting up so beautifully. Here, let me show you again. There you go. Look at that. Gorgeous. All right, so this is a toe-up sock. DRK Everyday Sock is a Andrea Mowry pattern. And it's a toe-up sock, which is, I have not knit a toe-up sock in a few years. So far, I'm not minding it. I feel like it's a really good fit on my foot so far. I cast on the second one last week, as you know, if you watched last week. And I just need to knit until I get up to the heel. The heel is going to be a Flegel heel. I've not done a Flegel heel ever that I know of. One of you very kindly sent me the link to a site that has a good tutorial, so thank you for that. I plan on checking that out before I do the heel, because in the pattern, when I hit the heel for this one, I was like, I don't understand what this pattern is telling me to do. It's going to look weird if I do that. So I'm going to go back and watch that tutorial. So I'm going to do, the green is Soccer Mom Knits. Right now, the plan is to do the heel in this red, and it's also Soccer Mom Knits. And then I'll do the cuff in this purple, which I have no clue what this purple is. It's just a little pop of color that I had in my scrap bin. So yes. All right, so I'm gonna try to focus on these, a little bit more this week. I was really all about the gnome this past week. Actually, I was really all about working. So I didn't get a lot of knitting done, but I'm gonna try to focus on this and my husband's sweater, which I'm not showing you today because I did nothing on it this week. It was supposed to be a Christmas sweater. Now it's a Valentine's sweater, and Valentine's is like in 3 weeks. And I'm nowhere near done. So yeah. All right, so that was whip number 2. It's living in my Della Q bag there, little Della Q bag. They don't make this kind of bag anymore. I really wish they would. It's like silk, and it's just, they have this kind of shape, but it doesn't have, it's just not the same. And I really wish they made this bag still, because it's just a nice bag, and it scrunches up nice and small. So it's a good, when I'm traveling, I take it. So yeah. All right. So yeah, whip number 2. Oh no, is that right? No, that was whip number 1. Just ignore me. Whip number 2 is my Musselburgh. I had to say Edinburgh because I'm struggling to say Musselburgh. And a lovely viewer who I'm assuming is Scottish explained that Musselburgh is down the road from Edinburgh. If you can say Edinburgh, you can say Musselburgh. So, but then I was like, well, am I saying Edinburgh right? Who knows? All right, this is my Musselburgh hat, and I am knitting it. If it looks familiar, it's because it matches Chuck's hat. So Chuck's hat and my Musselburgh are mustache yarn in the colorway Comorbi. And, oh, by the way, Karen at Recreational Knitting, hi Karen, those socks that you were knitting, I'm pretty sure are also, you knit them and they're beautiful and they look just like Chuck's hat. I'm pretty sure they're Comorbi or something similar, but they're definitely mustache yarn. So, yes. Tangent, squirrel. All right, so this is, I was knitting Chuck over there, and Mandy Von at Mandy Von Knits said, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a Musselburgh hat out of that? And she actually meant to do like a hat just like Chuck's hat. and it would be lovely, but it would take forever. I mean, this hat took forever, but a human, like a full-size one, would take equally, like, longer. So I went ahead and got more yarn, and I just did the Messabara. So I am getting there. This is how much yarn I have left, and it's going to be lovely. I'm just taking my time. This is kind of my mindless knitting. So yeah. A couple people, Karen, who at Recreational Knitting is having surgery on Wednesday, and we're all going to send our good thoughts and prayers, and everything's going to be fine. We're sure, Karen. But she was talking about knitting a big sock tube, and then like while she's doped up, and I was like, that's a great idea. I could just like do that with some of my my cute stripy yarn, like if I had another one of these. But I have plenty of striped yarn. So, and then after the fact, she's going to cut it and put in heels. And I was like, that might be the thing I do next with the next stripy ball of yarn that I get my hands on. So if you don't know, I do a lucky dip every month where I pull out yarn from a big bag. That's where I have January socks. So I might do that with my February socks, or whenever I get the next big stripy yarn. Okay, anyways, we're talking about this hat. All right, so if you don't know, this hat basically will be a long tube, and on either end you'll have these beautiful decreases, increases, and then it kind of folds in on itself. So this is fingering weight, but when you fold it in, it's going to be DK weight. So it will be a nice hat. I'm hoping to get a slouchy hat out of it, and then just to kind of wear, especially like the next few months, it's going to be like this outside. And my office gets cold, and sometimes I just have hat hair, and I just don't want to, you know, I want to sit at my desk with my little slouchy hat on and like be a little hermit, and yeah, so that's why I'm making this. Okay, yeah. So look for this if you're ever on any of my work Zoom meetings later. All right, that is living in this beautiful bag from 65 South. This is my Boston Terrier bag. For those of you that don't know, I have a Boston Terrier, Obi. Obi's a wild man, and he comes every now and then. He'll come around, you'll see him. But yeah, I love Boston Terriers. Okay, so this is very chatty, isn't it? Okay, I do not have, well, I'm not going to show you the sweater because I did not work on it this week. I am going to work on it today. I'm already making plans for that. Some of you are probably here going, hey, weren't you going to do a giveaway because you hit your 2-year anniversary and 300 subscribers? Yes, I am going to do a giveaway. In fact, right here. If you are the winner, okay? I don't know who the winner is yet because I haven't done the actual drawing part yet. Reach out to me, send me an email, BobbleHeadKnits@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on Ravelry. I'm also BobbleHeadKnits there. Or on Instagram, BobbleHeadKnits, right? Easy to remember. So just message me, tell me what pattern it is you would like. And if it's on Ravelry, I'll just send it to you automatically. If you're not on Ravelry or the pattern's not on Ravelry, let me know. We'll figure it out, okay? All right, there. And congratulations. And thank you for everyone who left me a comment. Okay, that was crazy, wasn't it? Okay, I have some acquisitions. Woohoo! And I'm going to apologize now for the crinkling. I took them... I unwrapped them, but I did not totally take them out of the cellophane. So, all right, I'm going to take this one out of the cellophane because it'll show better. Sorry, apologies. I'm one of these people that that crinkling sound does not bother me, okay? But a lot of people it does. And then there are people that like, it's like an ASMR, is that what it's called? Yeah. And they're like, ooh, we like that. Yeah. All right, look at this. This is Hugh Loco from her Take Flight collection. This was a special thing that she did right after the holiday, or right, like, I think she started on Christmas. She did like this holiday extravaganza, and this was that collection. So this is the colorway Parrot. It's beautiful. Hang on. Sorry, cellophane attacked me. There it is. Look at that. Ooh, and I didn't show you this. Look at that. Ooh. Yes. Okay, so this is Merino sock set. It is 80/20, so superwash merino and nylon, and it is beautiful. I don't really need any more sock yarn, we all know, but I saw this and was like, oh, gotta add that to the yarn collection. So yes, I'm not too thrilled with this peachy color because I thought it was going to be more like this dark peach all the way, but it gets light up here, as you can see. So I mean, I felt like that was not the best, but otherwise gorgeous. Okay, let me put this back in the cellophane. Sorry. My Lucky Dip bag is overflowing, so I'm gonna have to put that in later. I also was thinking about rearranging my Lucky Dip bag because I put all the yarn in there like last year, and all the new yarn is at the top, and I tend to reach way far down, and so I'm getting only the old yarn. I'm never getting to knit with my new yarn. So I'm gonna mix it up so that I have kind of equal chance of getting old yarn or new yarn. Okay, all right, I'll do that at some point. All right, next up, these colors are gonna look really familiar, and I apologize again for the crinkling. I don't want to take these out, but this is also the Take Flight collection, and this is the mini sets of all those colors. And can you see it? She called these You Got Me Humming, and they're just mini skeins of all the colors that were in the sock set. So I want to do some color work, so this will be perfect for that. So yes, another Hugh Loco. Hugh Loco is local to me, not local as in down the street, but in the state of Colorado. So yeah, I was supporting a local dyer. So, all right, more coffee. All right, now that I've finished Chuck, which by the way, we need to get a selfie screenshot thingamajinger. Who's checking me? Now that I've finished Chuck, I'm not going to cast on anything new just yet because I'm really trying to work through my whips. And this is, of course, was a whip. And once I get a couple more things off my needles, then I will cast on a new project. But I've got my sweater, or my husband's sweater. I've got a sweater for me, which actually I think I'm going to frog. And then I've got a sock. I've got a hoe that I need to finish the other sock. And then I need to get the Incredible blanket started again. I've been off track with that for a while. So once I get all those things, I get the active whips, a few more of those out of the way. I get the languishing whips kind of figured out what I'm going to do with them. Then I have plans to cast on a few things. So, all right. That's it for the knitting. All right. If you are not sticking around to hear about my life, thank you so much for coming by. I do encourage you to like and subscribe. I don't get anything out of it besides a little bump in my viewership, because every time you like and subscribe, it's like YouTube's like, oh, this might be something that other people might want to see. So it's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it just helps me out. And you should do it with all the the vlogs that you come by to visit. Sorry, I just knocked you because I'm trying to fix the cord. My phone didn't charge last night and I have you plugged in because of that. So, all right, so that's it. Like and subscribe. All right, thank you for those of you sticking around. All right, let's chat. Not a whole lot going on this week. It was crazy busy. It's gonna be crazy busy for the next week, or the next month, actually, with work. And so it's just a very, very busy time for me. My husband is having surgery on Wednesday, and nothing huge, but he will be out of commission for a few weeks. So I'm going to be working full-time, taking care of my husband, cooking, cleaning, all the things. Try to be Wonder Woman. It's going to be hilarious. But he will be fine. We're not too worried about it. It's just more that he's not a very good patient. So this should be fun. All right, so that's coming up. Other things, not really a whole lot. I've had a 3-day weekend, so I had lunch with a friend. Yesterday we went, oh, here's a funny story I'll tell you about. Yesterday my husband and I went up to Westminster, which it's across town. It's like between here and Boulder. And we went up there because my husband grew up there, and there's an Italian deli there that he realized that he'd never taken me to. In 30 some years, he never took me there. So we went over there. It was so good. We bought so much stuff, but we also had lunch there. And then they also have these huge, beautifully made homemade pizzas. And I was like, oh, let's get one. So we bring it home. And the woman told us as we were checking out, make sure you keep this frozen, pop it in the oven frozen, because if you don't, you will never get it off the little cardboard underneath. So I was like, okay. And I told my husband, he was standing right there. I was like, don't forget. So when we got home, I was like, I really have to go to the bathroom. So I ran in the house. I went in the bathroom. I come back out. There's no pizza sitting on the counter. So I assume my husband had put it in the freezer. He did not. He put it in the fridge. It wouldn't fit in our freezer because we have like a side-by-side fridge, which I hate, by the way. But the other option was to take it down the street, 3 houses, to our son's house where he has a big pull-out freezer, and put it in their freezer. They wouldn't have eaten it because it had meat on it and they're vegetarian. So I just assumed it was in a freezer. I didn't think about it. And then we had a lovely afternoon. I took a 2-hour nap. And then my husband is around 5 o'clock is like, oh, I'm getting hungry. I was like, okay, I'll cook the pizza. So right as I was going to cook it, he's like, oh, by the way, it's in the fridge, not the freezer, because it wouldn't fit in the freezer. And I was like, why didn't you take it down to the other house? But he didn't. So I was like, well, let's see what happens. Couldn't get it out the cardboard. He finagled it onto the pizza, the thing that it's like this wooden board that you put the pizza on and then you slide it into your oven. So he got it on there, and then I was like, look, I want no part of this because this is not going to end well. So I was like, you're cooking this now. I'm out. So he stuck it in the oven, and it didn't really go on very well. He didn't stick anything. Well, okay, we have a pizza stone, so he stuck it on the pizza stone, but he didn't put anything under the pizza stone. The pizza was like all distorted, and it was a mess. And then as it was cooking, it was like falling off the pizza stone. So I don't know how long it was in there. It was supposed to be in there 25 to 30 minutes, but way before it was supposed to come out, we had to pull it out because it was smoking up our kitchen so bad. So he pulled it out, and there was no saving this pizza. It was gone. So it was so, like, everything was smoky. It was like a mess. So he ended up having to carry it and like the whole tray from in the oven, like the whole rack, he had to carry it outside, and it was like snowing out there, and he had to set it out there to cool down. The dogs were like dying to get out there and eat pizza. It's crazy. So yeah, I did not get my really good pizza. So yeah, but I made him, I told him I'm not cleaning the kitchen, I'm not cleaning the oven, because this was supposed to be an easy dinner, and instead it turned into Pizzagate. I don't know. So yeah, I was kind of bummed. So we'll be going back over across town and getting another pizza at some point. All right, that was kind of it. That's my life. All right, I'm gonna get going. I'm reading, watching. I didn't finish any books. Watching. We watched like episode 2 of season 2 of Severance. That was the only TV we watched this week. Yeah, that's it. All right, I'm gonna go. Everybody have a great week, and just take care of each other. It's been a hard time here in the U.S. for a lot of us, and just look out for people around you that you care about, or that just be kind. Yeah, that's all I can say. And I'm sending out lots of positive juju and all that to Karen at Recreational Knitting. I know you're gonna get a new knee. You're gonna be like Bionic Woman. You're gonna be able to run like Lindsay Wagner and Lee Majors. And yes, we're showing our age here. All right, so I'm gonna go now. Bye.